Hello everyone, welcome to Othello Flips on how to start winning in Othello Milestone 5. If you're enjoying my video so far, do drop me a like button for this video. You can also follow me on my Facebook page, Othello Flips. Without further ado, let's move on to today's contents. Okay, for this video, we will place emphasis on endgame basics. So there will be a counting of pieces, concept of parity, and two types of basics windows. Okay, for endgame counting, when a position is close or tight against your opponent and you have more than one potential line to play, you need to count which line can read more pieces. To count your final score for a line that is yet to be played out, you do the following. For the first move, visualize how many pieces will be flipped and add 1 to the count to include your place this. For the second move, visualize how many pieces your opponent will flip and subtract that from your count in part A. And you keep repeating the process until the sequence ends, and add the final count to your current total pieces before the first move in the sequence, and you'll get your final number of pieces on the belt if that sequence is played. Okay, so I will show an example of counting. So now it's White's turn to play. So the first thing we do is try to identify the potential moves that White can play. So this could be move 1, move 2 for black, and then White plays this final move. So the move sequence is A7. Sorry, I mean B7 first, followed by A7, and finally A8. Okay, so we're going to count how many pieces there will be for this particular sequence. So for move 1, when White plays here, White is going to flip all these pieces. So there's a total of 8 pieces over there, and including the place this, White will have a total of addition of 9 pieces. Okay, so let's clear that part. Okay, after that, black will play here. So this requires some visualization. This will be flipped from white. It will become black again, and all these pieces will be flipped by black. Okay, because this whole row is actually white right now. So it will be -6 black pieces. So +9 -6 is a +3, which is the current count. And in the end, white will play this, and he will flip 2 pieces, this one and this one. Okay, so there is +2, and eventually it will become a score of +5. Okay, next we count the total number of white pieces on the board. For this program, it is calculated for us, so there's 26 white pieces, so 26 plus 5 will give us a total of 31 white pieces. So that is actually not enough for white to win, but we put a side note over there. So if we play A7 as first move, following the B7 as first move, and following the particular sequence, we will get 31 pieces. Okay, so let us count another sequence this time. Okay. So now let's say if a7 is played as the first move for white, black can go b7 next, and eventually white will play a8. Okay. So this sequence is a7, b7, a8. So we will count how many moves, sorry, how many pieces will this give us? So this is the first move. You flip 4 pieces along this diagonal, along with the place this is plus 5. Okay, and for black you play here, and you flip these 2 pieces. So it will be -2. So the current score now is +3. And after that, white will play the final move here, which will flip 4 pieces. Sorry, I mean 3 pieces. 1, okay, hold on a moment, it's not this one. If white plays here, then you'll be flipping this 3 pieces. So there will be a total of +4. And the final score will be +7. So if let's say white plays a7 as the first move, +7 to 26 will give us 33 pieces. So a7 will have a winning line. Okay, so let's play out and see. b7, a7, a8. So yes, so white has 31 pieces here. As for the other sequence, a7, b7, a8. So over here, white wins. So this is an example of endgame counting. So let's look at another example. Okay, over here, it is black's turns to play. So you may want to pause the video for a moment to see what are the possible sequences that black should handle. Okay, over here, black can either play h8 or c8. So you may be required to count both sequences. So let's take a look at h8 first. Okay, so if you really cannot look ahead, I'll just play out the sequence. So most likely, after h8, white will go c8, black will go h1, then white will move into a8, and after that, black will go b7, and then white will go g2, followed by black going a7, and finally white going into a6. Okay, so that's quite a long sequence. So let's do some counting for this one. Playing h8 will add 7 pieces to the count. And when white goes into here, you will flip these 3 pieces, so it's -3. Entering h1 will give 7 pieces plus 7. And white entering a8, entering AA will flip one this, so it's -1, followed by black playing into B7 next, will flip 6 pieces plus 6, which is 1, 2, 3, sorry, flip 5 this plus the one you place is 6 this. And then white will enter into G2 next, which will flip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 this, so it's -9. After which black will play A7, which will flip one this and place one this, so it's +2. And finally, white goes into A6, which will flip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, -7. So let's do a quick calculation. That is 4, 11, 10, 16, 7, 9, 2. So it is a +2 sequence. I mean, you add 2 to the total count for the move H8. And it follows a sequence listed there. So which means there'll be a total of 29 pieces for black, which is not winning. Okay. Okay, so let us verify the accuracy of the calculation. H8, C8, H1, A8, B7, G2, A7, A6. Okay, so black has 29 pieces. Okay, so over here, let us calculate C8 as the first sequence instead. So if let's say C8 is being played, then most likely white will take here next, which is A8. And then black will come in here, H8, followed by white will white will most likely play this, okay, which is B7, followed by black will play the corner at H1, and then white will most likely play this, G2, then followed by black playing A7, and finally white playing A6. Okay, let's count the sequence. Okay, the C8 move, when white comes in, he will flip these 4 discs. Sorry, 3 discs, plus the place this, so it will be a +4. Okay, this -7 is in the way. Let me shift it up. Okay, followed by white going into A8, which will flip. Okay, which will flip these 2 discs. So it's -2. And then black will play here, which will flip this whole diagonal. So there's a total of addition of 7 discs. Then white will play here next, which is B7. So we'll flip a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 discs. So it's -7. Followed by black playing into H1. So there's a total of 7 discs plus 7 again. And then white going into G2, which will flip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 this. So -5. And then black going into A7, which will flip a total of 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces, plus the place this, so it's 7 this. And then white finally entering A6, which will flip a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6 pieces. So it's -6. Okay, so let's check. Let's do a quick calculation of how much does that give us. 4 minus 2 is 2 plus 7, 9, 9 minus 7 is 2, 2 plus 7 is 9, 9 minus 5 is 4, 4 plus 7, 11, 11 minus 6 is 5. So it's a plus 5. So which means this will give black 32 pieces. Okay, so CA as the first move will give black 32 pieces. Okay, so let's verify the accuracy of the calculation. So CA as the first move, followed by A8, H8, B7, H1, G2, A7, A6. Okay, so it is 32 pieces. Okay, so this is an example of counting your endgame. And you need to do it mentally from a position like this. Okay, let's go to endgame parity next. Okay, an enclosed region with odd number of empty squares is called the odd region. With an even number of squares, it is called even region. To have parity in a region is to have the last move in that particular region. Parity allows a player who enters that region last to maximize flipping, which is actually a good thing. So white has natural parity since white starts the game second. And recognizing odd and even regions is a requirement for a player to actually utilize parity. So let us look at a few examples. Okay, over here it is white's turn to play. So recognize there are 3 different closed regions over here. Not really close, I mean 3 different regions over here that's yet to be filled. So this one with an odd number of squares, we call it the odd region. Whereas for the other two with an even number of squares, we call it the even region. Okay, so to utilize parity, to have the last move in the region, you always try to spot for moves. You try to start your sequence in the odd region first. So which is this area over here. Okay, so the idea is to play this move first. So that if let's say black takes the corner, then white can squeeze in. So white will have the last move in this region over here. And by doing so, it will force black to play into the one of the 2 even regions first, of which white can continue replying, and white can have last move in both these regions. And as a result, white is going to maximize flipping. So this is how it looks like. This move. So after black plays here, white has the last move in this region. So black will be forced to play a move in one of the even regions, let's say this move. Then white will play. So notice that After black plays here, this place becomes a odd region, so white can just play in to make it even. So by following that, white can always have the last move in all the regions. So in this case, although there's a pass, it's still quite winning for white. So this is +5 minus 2, which is 3. This is +4 minus 1, which is also 3. So they should bring the same count. Okay. So white wins in this case by utilizing parity. So the key is to play into the odd region first. Okay, let us move to another board position. Okay, over here it is white's turn to play. So first thing, identify the odd region straight off. Okay, so there's only one move into the odd region. So that is B7. So it may seem that doing this will give away a lot of stable pieces at the bottom area. Okay, so the full sequence will look something like that. One, white plays, black plays, white plays. So after that, black will most likely sweep the bottom, and white will just wedge in over here. Okay, so even though white gained parity at the bottom, but black did quite a bit of sweeping. So whether is it enough to win or not, you still have to count. So black will be forced to play here next. He can't be playing B1 and giving away the whole top line. So this is most likely. After which white can take the corner at A1. Black may play here, followed by white having the last move in this region. So you notice white have the last move here, white have the last move here, white has the last move here in all three regions, which allows white to actually maximize flipping. So let's play the sequence out and see whether is it winning. So in actual gameplay, you actually have to count this sequence. So after this, so you notice white has last move, white has last move, and over here white will have last move because black will have to play in first. Okay, so that's enough for white to win. 37 by 27. Okay, let's move on to some more concepts on parity. So you should avoid sealing the odd regions as much as possible. So if a sealed even region has 4 or more squares, parity is actually not guaranteed because the player can unseal the region and leave it untouched, hoping to gain parity in the future. Okay, and parity matters so much that even with many empties left, losing it can mean a loss. So let's look at another example. Okay, over here it is black's turn to play. So you notice white situation has a problem, and that is white actually seal off the odd region over here, which is not favorable for him in terms of parity. However, since it's black's turn to play, and there are 2 odd regions, so the question is where should black play? Black should play in the region where white has access and leave this section over here untouched as much as possible. Okay, so this is how it will look like if black plays here. And notice that in the remaining 3 even regions, white does not have parity because white cannot access this area. So even if white gains the corner, he will have to give away the bottom two corners to black. Okay, and this will result in a loss because black will simply just sweep and sweep. Okay, so the lesson learned here is to not seal off any odd regions. Okay, not playing into this region first is very detrimental for black because if let's say black plays this move, okay, white does not have to rush into this square first. White could do this, and after black comes in, white could fulfill parity here. So you notice from here on, because black touched the odd region here, white will have parity here, here, and here, and that should be enough for white to win actually. Okay, so this is how you utilize parity with odd and even regions. So let us look at another example. Okay, so now it is white's turn to play. You may want to pause the video for a moment to find white's winning sequence. Okay, so the first problem offhand is the bottom left region where black actually has no parity here. So the idea is if let's say white plays here, okay, so he may to preserve his distance along this section, if let's say white plays here, black plays here, white plays here, and black plays here, this is actually not enough to win because you realize that black actually have the last move in this region. So what white could have done in this case is not to fill up the odd region over here immediately because black has no access. So what white should do is play this move first, making black take the corner and leave this part untouched and let black enter the even region first. So white will play here next. So when black enters here, white will flip back everything that black has flipped before. Okay, and that is how you utilize parity fully. Okay, so you notice the sequence will allow white to have the last move here and last move here. And that's the kind of the advantage of having parity in the game. So notice that there's no way black can dodge this, even if black doesn't take the corner. If black plays this first, white could still play this next, and this result in the same thing happening. Okay, let us move on to the next concept. Okay, over here we'll be talking about our endgame swindles. So a swindle is a trick in gaining tempo. It is usually a special scenario where a player consecutively plays into a region because the other player lack access into the same region. Certain swindles can happen due to a lack of poison discs. So recall a poison disc is an undesirable disc. It causes certain line, certain file, certain line, or certain diagonal to remain unflipped or the executioner enters a region. Okay. Endgame swindles allow a player to snatch parity for win. So for this video, we will look at two basic swindles, the open diagonal swindle and the open file swindle. Okay, so for this board position, it's obviously white's turn to play. Note that no matter where white play, be it A8 or B8, he is not going to win. So let's say white plays here, black is going to go into the other square, resulting in a loss. And if let's say white plays here, black is going to another square, also resulting in a loss. So the main problem is white does not have parity, okay, for this particular board position. But now if let's say I change the color of this particular disc, things are going to be different. So let me carry out the change first. So let's make this black disc. Okay, and you notice now, if white enters the corner, he does not flip this particular diagonal because this is no longer white. And then after that, white can still choose to enter the same region once more and win the game. Okay, so we call the presence of the white list over there the presence of this white list a poison list because it causes undesirable flipping and it causes the swindle not to happen. Okay, so let's go to some more examples. Okay, over here, it is black's turn to play. You may want to pause the video for a short moment and see whether you can find black's winning move. Okay, right offhand, what you can definitely observe is all these are all even regions. So which means black is most likely going to lose if he's not going to pull off a swindle in this case. So the offhand problem is if black plays, white plays, if black plays, white plays, black plays, white plays, no parity, no win. Okay, so over here, black can actually try to pull off a swindle by sacrificing the corner at A8 first. Okay, the idea is if once white enters the corner, the whole diagonal will be white and black can enter H1 without flipping the diagonal. So this is how it looks like. If white takes this, black will enter H1 without flipping the diagonal. So black will have parity in this region. And now it's white's turn, so white will be forced to play this. And black will still have parity in this region. So that is actually enough for black to win. Okay, so this is an example of open diagonal swindle. So let us look at the other swindle. Okay, over here it is also black's turn to play. So you may want to pause the video for a moment and see if you can find black's winning move. Okay, so black's winning move is over here at G7. Okay, why is that so? This is a poison disc. Okay, if this disc become white, black can enter here without flipping the whole G column. So this is how it looks like. So over here, white will be forced to play this, after which black will enter G1 without flipping the G column. So over here, white will even lose parity in these two areas. So white, black, and black will also have parity in this final region, resulting in a win. Okay, so I call this the open file swindle. Okay, so let's wrap up. This is what we have covered: how to count your endgames, the importance of parity, which is having last move, and to have parity, try to avoid sealing all regions as much as possible. And you can execute swindles to steal parity. and we went through the open diagonals window and open files window. So if you have been enjoying my video, please click on the like button below, and that'll be all for today. Thanks for watching.